I'm talking here with Marc van der Gijs and Sean Clark from Blockchain Capital. They have started a bunch of companies in the blockchain industry, and let's find out what they're doing. I'm talking here with Marc van der Gijs and Sean Clark from First Block Capital. They have started a very interesting fund, which is the first in its kind, and let's find out all about them. God damn it, one more time. I'm sitting here with Marc van der Gijs and Sean Clark, and they're from First Block Capital. They started a Bitcoin fund, the first of its kind internationally. Let's find out about them. So interesting that First Block.capital with Marc van der Gijs, which we know as a VC in Canada, is no VC anymore and got permission from the Canadian regulator to start the Bitcoin fund. Marc van der Gijs, no, not a VC anymore?
Not a VC anymore. I think that it's time to become full-time active in the crypto space. Things are moving so fast over there. I want to be part of it full-time now.
Yeah, but 5 years ago in our conference, you were already completely interested only in Bitcoin. So, what is First Block Capital?
First Block Capital is an asset management company that I started with Sean Clark. We do several things. We run a Bitcoin investment trust, the first regulated investment trust in the world. And we invest in crypto companies, or we start crypto companies.
Okay. Sean, you're the CEO, and you do this together with Marc. How does the fund operate? What can people put into the fund, and what are the costs?
So the FBC Bitcoin Trust is the first regulated open-ended Bitcoin trust in the world. The fund operates and is currently being sold to accredited investors in Canada under the retail network, and it's also being sold to institutions. We are on a global roadshow to put AUM into this fund. Quite simply, it's a $25,000 minimum to qualified investors, and for institutions, it's a $250,000 minimum. Very simple. You give us the subscription agreement with the money, and we purchase Bitcoin and store it on your behalf.
Yeah. And you store it in a safe and secure way. What kind of cost are you going to calculate for that?
So we use Zappo. Zappo is the Fort Knox of Bitcoin. We've partnered with them, and they keep all of our Bitcoins in cold storage. And actually, the custodian fee that Zappo charges us is nothing. So we've really partnered with them at the end of the day to bring to market a way for people to invest in Bitcoin and to keep it safe. We charge a 1.5% management fee, and that is it. There is no carry, there is no performance. It is a simply long Bitcoin fund.
Okay, so only 1.5% and no carry whatsoever. What is your goal with this fund, Marc?
Well, I think we can make it into $1 billion fund. That's my aim. I think the market's ready for an easy fund to invest in, to get for people to invest in Bitcoin, you know, without having to buy it themselves, without having to store it themselves. So I think $1 billion should be feasible to reach.
Okay. What kind of permissions did you already get? What countries, except for Canada, is this fund allowed for investors?
So in Canada, we had a long 6-month process with the Canadian Securities Administrators.
You think that's long? 6 months?
It's long for us. We also now have the ability to sell the fund in Holland and Belgium and Switzerland at the moment. Those are the 3 countries in Europe that we are focused on.
Okay. What other countries, you are on a road trip, and what other countries are going to follow within the next 6 months?
We're working with Brazil. There's a large fund there that wants to put in $50 million. We're looking at Southeast Asia, Singapore. We're looking at Hong Kong. So we're looking at, we look at it opportunistically. If we see opportunities, we're going to go for it. And then we.
Is it regulator driven or is it investor driven?
No, it's investor driven. It's really about, if we see big investors in countries, we go to the regulator, see if it works. If it doesn't work, we don't do it. If it does work, we would go for it.
Okay, so this is the first product you have in your company. What other products do you have?
So we also have Protus Hedge Fund, which is doing its own ICO. Currently, pre-sales actually started today.
Okay. The Protus, and the public sale begins October 31st. So what does this company do?
So Protus is doing an ICO to raise capital to invest in cryptocurrency, and the thesis is to alpha trade ARB and to invest in different ICOs.
Marc, these ICOs, you've been skeptical about them. You love Bitcoin, and you've been extremely skeptical about ICOs. Why do you invest in a company or in a project like this?
Well, I even founded it. I started it because I think there's a major hype going on for ICOs. I'm looking for good ICOs. Most ICOs are now scams or hypes, and I want to get rid of those. I want to change the ICO market into a mature market where you can make normal returns, where it's easier to raise money for companies, but not at outrageous valuations, just at normal valuations. Not raising $150 million in 10 minutes, but raising $40–50 million, over a period of several months at a more normal valuation. Not for young startups, but for mature companies that want to use ICOs as a different way of raising capital.
Mm-hmm. And the biggest advantage of using ICOs instead of just raising capital?
It's liquidity for investors. The moment you buy into an ICO, you can sell right away if you want to sell. If you're a VC, you buy into a company, you have to wait 5, 6, 7 years before you get liquidity. If you buy into an ICO, you could theoretically sell the day after.
Okay. So that instrument is right up there. What is the last company or the last project you're starting?
So along the same vein as ICOs, we have created an investment bank called First Coin Capital. And First Coin is a full-service investment bank that will take mature companies with sales and revenue and EBITDA and provide access to institutional and retail investors and give them a way to invest in these ICOs.
So that's First Coin Capital. So you're a full-service company which basically provides everything for mature companies to do an ICO. An interesting team. This guy started Hootsuite, which I use myself, so it's a pretty good tool. Interesting people. So Marc, what's the plan with this investment bank, this ICO investment bank?
Well, we want to make this into the leading investment company in the world for ICOs. And we want to go very quickly. And we decided in order to do this, we need money quickly, a lot of money quickly. There are several ways of doing it. An ICO is one way of doing it, but I didn't want to do an ICO for a startup because I don't believe in it. So we're going to take it public. We're launching the company.
Wait, you don't believe in an ICO for a startup company, but you believe in going public?
Yeah, because we want to build a big company, and so you get in early. You can in Canada you can actually go public quite early. I believe we can grow this into a huge company in the future, and so we'll go to the markets at a relatively low valuation, and then grow it into a big company. I think this could be the JP Morgan actually of ICOs in the future, replacing Jamie Dimon's company, because he doesn't believe in Bitcoin and in cryptocurrencies. Yeah. We do.
He had his chance, and he blew it totally publicly. Hey, you've started this company how long ago?
This was the beginning of this year, 2017, in February 2017.
Yeah. And then 3 big projects. I mean, how many people are in your company?
So Marc and I are in First Block Capital with a compliance team and a finance team. Yeah. And First Coin has 7 employees at this moment, and everything else is outsourced. So we believe in very streamlined, very efficient companies.
Okay. Well, that was a nice getting together. Good luck, guys. You will need it, but you're convinced that you don't need it. So enjoy your trip all over the world to raise money.